We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. I'm reading from the United States Constitution. What is the U.S. Constitution? Before the United States was a country, there were 13 colonies, which were ruled by the King of Great Britain. The king made most of the decisions about how the colonies were run and how people lived. The founding leaders of the United States did not want one person or group to have too much power, like a king. They created the Constitution, which is a set of laws that explains how the country's government should be organized and run. The Constitution separates the government into 3 branches. Each branch checks the others to make sure there's a balance of power. What is the legislative branch? Congress is the legislative branch, and it creates laws. Citizens elect members of Congress, and they meet in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Congress is made of 2 separate parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Each state elects 2 senators. Since there are 50 states, there are 100 members in the Senate. Senators are elected every 6 years. Citizens also elect members to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has 435 seats. The number of seats each state gets depends on the population of the state. States with more people get more seats in the House. Representatives are elected every 2 years. The Senate and House work together to create bills and vote on them. A bill is an idea that can be turned into a law. If a bill passes in the House of Representatives and the Senate, the bill gets sent to the President. What is the executive branch? The executive branch is in charge of carrying out laws and approving or recommending new ones. The President of the United States is the head of the executive branch. When the President gets a bill, he or she can approve it and sign it. Then the bill turns into a law. The President can also veto or reject a bill. Then the bill gets sent back to Congress for changes. But Congress can hold another vote to override or rule against the President's veto. The President's veto power and Congress's power to override the veto make sure that one part of the government does not have too much power. It can be a little confusing, but it keeps a separation of powers in the government. The system of how branches of the government can check each other and keep a balance of power is called checks and balances. The President also appoints or chooses people who help him or her make decisions. These people make up the cabinet. The Senate approves the cabinet members as part of the government's checks and balances. The President acts as the commander-in-chief who leads the armed forces and meets with leaders from other countries to discuss problems. The President and Vice President are the only governmental leaders who are elected by the entire country. They are elected every 4 years. But the President can only serve 2 terms for a total of 8 years. What is the judicial branch? The court system makes up the judicial branch. Courts decide arguments about the meaning of laws and decide whether laws go against the Constitution. The U.S. Supreme Court is the highest court, and its decisions guide the other courts in the country. There are 9 justices, or judges, of the U.S. Supreme Court, and they are appointed by the President and approved by the Senate. The justices serve for life until they decide to step down, or if Congress votes to remove them. So, the legislative branch creates laws, the executive branch carries out the laws, and the judicial branch interprets laws and explains the meaning of them. Each branch checks each other to make sure there's a balance of power. So, one person can't just make a new law or change the Constitution. A lot of people have to work together. What? You changed the Constitution? Every day shall be ice cream day. Moby, did Congress pass this?